we ask Mr. Louis Libbitz to come up, please, and our Superintendent, Mr. Jorge Diaz. On behalf of the Middlesex County Board of Commissioners this evening, I'm honored to present Mr. Louis Libbitz, who's one of our teachers at the Middlesex County East Brunswick Campus Vocational and Technical Schools. That's one of our 5 campuses here in Middlesex County. Mr. Louis Libbitz was honored this year at the 20th Annual Garden State Arts Film Festival on March 23rd through March 27th in Cranberry and Asbury Park. He was named Educator of the Year by the festival. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the proclamation. Whereas Louis Libbitz, a graduate in media arts at New Jersey City University in Jersey City, received his master's degree in fine arts and video art from Syracuse University in 2007. Working in experimental, narrative, and documentary styles, his video works have been exhibited in festivals and galleries nationally and internationally. Mr. Louis Libbitz has more than 15 years' experience teaching film, video, and media arts at both the college and high school levels. He was Assistant Director and Program Director of the Thomas Edison Film Festival, formerly the Black Maria Film Festival, and the New Jersey Young Filmmaker Festival. Whereas Louis Libbitz joined the faculty of the School of Arts on the Middlesex County Vocational and Technical School East Brunswick campus in 2014. In 2019, he was an honoree in the Governor's Educator of the Year program. His students have consistently received recognition for their short films at numerous local, national, and international film festivals. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Middlesex that we do hereby recognize and congratulate Mr. Louis Libbitz as he is named the Educator of the Year by the 20th Annual Garden State Film Festival. Congratulations. Share a brief video before we allow the Superintendent of the Middlesex County Vocational and Technical Schools to speak.
Digital film program here at EV Tech is a 4-year program. We have an audition process. We are a part of the School of the Arts as well. But our program basically deals with 3 major areas or elements within media arts. We basically start with photography, then running into the moving image or film and video, and then we also do with audio. The first 2 years, the students really try to find their strengths and weaknesses within the area without bias. We've learned all the genres of film, from narrative, documentary, experimental, and stop motion. They learn all the areas of all pre-production, production, post-production. There's more advanced techniques when they come in from their junior and senior year. And basically, they find what all their strengths and weaknesses are. The real goal of this program is, after the 4 years, is to really have a strong portfolio for them to really get into a BA or BFA program within film, video, or media arts. If you need to find out more information on our program, please do not hesitate to visit digitalfilm.mcdts.com, and there you can see all student work about the program, all of our competitions, about the film festival, all of our social media links, a gallery throughout all of the years. So all the information is there, so please check it out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me begin by saying that I started as a superintendent of schools for the county vocational school system 3 weeks ago. And in no short time at all, I realized what a gem we have here in Middlesex County. I keep hearing it's the best kept secret, it's the best kept secret. I don't want it to be a secret anymore. And I need people to know, and I'm committed to ensuring that everyone in the county understands the quality of programs and the incredible educators we have at the county vocational technical schools. The Garden Film Festival in New Jersey started about 20 years ago. And it started as a means to celebrate the legacy that New Jersey has as the birthplace of the American film. And not only to celebrate that legacy, but also to provide a forum for local and independent filmmakers in the state of New Jersey. And over the last 20 years, they've done an incredible job ensuring that not only students, but individuals throughout the state have an opportunity to showcase the work that they do. This past year, Mr. Livitz had 4 students whose selections were showcased at the film festival. And he was also part of a film, a feature film, correct, at the film festival as well. So, you know, it's no guess that he would get the Educator of the Year award. You know, I walk into his classroom and I can see how the students react to him. He's an incredible teacher, and the best teachers are those that can engage and really connect with students. And I think we have an incredible educator here, and I'm honored to be here with the commissioners. And I said to Mr. Livitz, I said, "You're a rock star. Look how many people are here for you." So I'll give him a couple of minutes here to talk and to kind of accept this award, but I'm extremely pleased and honored to be here with you, Louis, and congratulate you on this such an auspicious award.
So Mr. Livitz is going to pass on saying a few comments, and that's okay because we can see all of your work up here. And you know, it's no surprise that his students are shining, right? When you have a teacher such as Mr. Livitz that affords you such a great education at Middlesex County Vocational and Technical School at the East Brunswick campus. So thank you for ensuring that our future in film is solid. So thank you very much. And at this time, we can take a picture, so it would be great. And it's no surprise that he's traveling with one of his students, right?
I just want to say thank you all for giving me a couple minutes of your time today. I know there's a lot of important things going on, but it really means the world to me. Thank you, Superintendent Diaz. Thank you to the Board of County Commissioners. And thank you to all the administrators of Middlesex County, as well as East Brunswick County. So, from the bottom of this film, truckers art, thank you much.
Congratulations. Okay, we have correspondence.
Each Commissioner, notice that this public hearing was published in the Middlesex Tribune on April 14, 2022. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of County Commissioners held on April 7, 2022.
The clerk will read ordinance number 462.
Bond ordinance number 462, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of various equipment and furniture and the undertaking of various fiscal year 2023 capital improvements at and for facilities of Middlesex County College located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2 million bonds or notes of the county for financing such appropriations and for authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 21st, 2022 at 7:00 p.m. and publication thereof.
Okay, I declare the public hearing open for any comments on ordinance number 462. Motion to close it. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 462 on final reading?
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar-Barber? Yes. County Commissioner Kenny?
Yes.
County Commissioner Apple? County Commissioner McCollum?
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios?
Yes. Okay.
Notice that this public hearing was published in the Middlesex Tribune on April 14, 2022. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of County Commissioners on April 7, 2022.
The clerk will read ordinance number 463.
Bond ordinance number 463, bond ordinance providing fiscal year 2023 general capital improvements and the acquisition of various equipment for the Middlesex County Vocational and Technical High Schools located within the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, appropriating $3,500,000. Therefore, authorizing the issuance of $3,500,000 bonds or notes of the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, April 21st, 2022, at 7:00 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
At this time, I open up the meeting to the public on any comments on ordinance number 463.
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 463?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar.
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny. County Commissioner Copwell. County Commissioner McCollum. County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio.
Yes.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 14th, 2022. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of County Commissioners on April 7th, 2022.
The clerk will read ordinance number 464.
Bond ordinance number 464, bond ordinance providing for the undertaking of fiscal year 2023 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Middlesex County College located within the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, appropriating $4,516,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of $4,516,000 bonds or notes for county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation. The principal of and interest on the aggregate principal amount of which will be entitled to state aid pursuant to Chapter 12 of the laws of New Jersey of 1971, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 21st, 2022, at 7:00 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this time, I open up the meeting to the public on any comments on on ordinance number 464.
Motion to close the public portion.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. There is a motion to adopt ordinance number 464.
So moved.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar.
Yes.
County Commissioner
Yes.
Kenny. County Commissioner Copwell. County Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara.
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio.
Yes. Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Carabel Escobar.
I do not have any report today, Director Rios. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Charles Kenny.
Nothing tonight, Director, thank you.
Commissioner Leslie Coppel.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
County Commissioner Chanel Scott. County Commissioner Deputy Director Shannon.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have one comment that I want to make. I'd like to provide an update relative to our efforts in finding new homes for the animals in Johnson Park and the establishment of the infrastructure necessary at East Jersey Old Town Village. We have already reached out to over a dozen sites to assess their ability to provide new and resilient homes to the animals from Johnson Park. Site visits have already been completed and are scheduled with several other sanctuaries, including tomorrow and Saturday. Likewise, site visits to our facility in Johnson Park have already been scheduled for next week as well. Tara Lane Sanctuary in Montague, New Jersey, has indicated that they will be prepared to receive a goat family of 5 individuals by the end of next week. They need to prepare their staff and facilities so that they can adequately quarantine the new individuals and schedule visits from their vets. Could someone and everyone please put your phones on vibrate or silent? Thank you. We anticipate additional transfers next week depending on the sanctuary's schedule. A sanctuary in Frenchtown has already indicated they will be ready to receive animals the first or second week of May. We will continue to complete the vetting process as quickly as possible and schedule the transfer of animals while working with the sanctuary's schedules. The preliminary concept plan provided by French and Perillo and Zoo Advisors is currently being refined. The quote and schedule from the fencing contractor is pending. We're looking at over a half a mile of new fencing, so acquisition of materials and scheduling of labor will be significant. We are prepared to award this work upon receipt of quote and timeline. Work to prepare the site at East Jersey Old Town Village has already started by county staff with the clearing of brush and location of water and electrical utilities. These will be completed before fence installation. Okay, Mr. Kelso, do we have any resolutions to be added?
None.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
At this time, I open up the meeting to the public for any comments only on listed resolutions. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Charles Prattville, New Brunswick today. Want to learn more about 547 is the miscellaneous connectivity equipment for the elections. As you know, there were problems with the connectivity equipment in the November election that led to long lines and people being unable to vote. Can the IT director speak to, why the county's taking this over now and how this is going to fix the problem?
So we're looking at all of our polling locations, bringing our IT team out to each of those locations to determine the connectivity issues. As you know, it's not just what's provided by the carrier, but unfortunately with some of the older buildings that exist out there today, to get the signal into the building because it is a wireless technology. Based on what took place in last November, we are doing that assessment, and when necessary, we're providing the necessary booster equipment to ensure that the signals into the facility will be sound in order to receive and communicate with the devices.
Okay, so this is up to $40,000 specifically for signal boosters for AT&T.
We're checking, even though there are a number of sites, we're checking every single polling location to make sure if there are any kind of issues. We're addressing them and addressing them today.
Okay, and you're confident that this will ensure the connectivity that's needed for the equipment?
We'll address any issues relative to connectivity through into the building. If the provider, the carrier has issues, that's something that's out of our control. But we're eliminating what we believe was one of the major issues, if not the issue, in last year's election.
Thank you. Move to page 8, 579. I'd just like to know the terms of the agreement. Apparently leasing the space at 9 Livingston Ave.
As you know, we have combined the efforts of the key arts providers in this area from George Street Lighthouse, Stakia, who occupy space on the floors that we own. And this is the last piece, including Crossroads into that. The intent is that having the co-location of those 3 entities along with the Arts Institute of Middlesex County, both from a program standpoint and outreach, will provide the kinds of services that will better support the residents of Middlesex County.
And how much is the rent?
It's $20 a square foot for a 5-year period. The 1,348 square feet.
And it's the same price for all 5 years?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I got on the resolutions. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. 598, I wanted to ask about the MCAT system. When are we going to get up to speed on having all the buses back? People need to get around.
Director, so the buses, we're going through an assessment as per regulation by New Jersey Transit to evaluate the market demands and throughout the county. And once we do that, we'll reestablish the needs in New Brunswick and throughout the greater New Brunswick area. So we'll have that report done July or so. But we want to make sure we can do an assessment before we reinstate the buses.
Thank you. There's clearly a need in New Brunswick, and we need these services restored. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public that want to speak on resolutions listed? Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, yes, Daniel Moore, Somerset Street. I would like to first comment on 570, due to where I know all people should appreciate Section 8,000 rental assistance, but I have mentioned at the City Council 2 times this year already, due to where I say these landlords who are receiving Section 8 payments are really taking advantage of this due to where there's no way a lot of these houses in New Brunswick that's getting sectioned, people getting sectioned, that they're even allowed to even pass inspection. Like I said, if I have to bring, you know me, what I speak upon, I prove. If I have to start bringing in pictures to show you, plus as well, you can watch the video at the city council due to where places, come on, peeling paint, everything on the wall, these landlords are taking advantage of it. I say, wow, the money that they're receiving, from the county and the city, you need to start doing better inspection with these landlords. Like I said, some people appreciate if you have a roof over your head, but like I said, due to where I'm seeing way too many landlords taking advantage of the money and, like I said, not appropriate housing for people.
Okay, we'll make sure that that's looked at and that there is no abuse. And if there is a certain complaint, you could please call our office. Where's Melissa? Right here.
Yeah.
Melissa?
We have, just so you know, we manage Section 8, and the City of New Brunswick has its own Section 8 program. But we do have an inspector that goes out to inspect every unit before somebody moves in and then does subsequent inspections once they're in the facility. We also work with code enforcement in New Brunswick as well as in other communities when we find things that aren't correct in the apartments. But if you have any concerns, you can call our office at 397-453-025.
I thank you due to it. Like I said, I didn't see what I'm holding up. I trust the county over the city due to where, like I said, Mayor Cahill doesn't make sure hardly anything is right in New Brunswick. Like I said, from several people, I will bring in pictures to prove. Come on, these places, what are these inspectors being paid off to pass inspection? Not safe for kids or anyone at all. And my other one, that was, let me see, it was on saying, okay, 566. I see this is something for the homeless due to where another big situation, not just with New Brunswick, but I tell you, I lived in New Brunswick 45 years, all my life. I have never seen this many homeless living around, and honestly, it's hard to really say it the wrong way, but a lot of these homeless people, they're really not respecting, not just New Brunswick, like I said, but I'm speaking on New Brunswick because I live here. I see what I see. Due to where it was mentioned as well at City Council last night, with these homeless people panhandling the way, come on, I'm going to show you the pictures to demonstrate what I'm talking about, how the Raritan River is polluted so much, due to where what? You have people living in tents down there not cleaning up in the city.
You have to talk about homelessness about this resolution, Danielle.
Excuse
We're
me?
not going to talk about the Raritan River flooding, or we're talking about homelessness on this particular resolution.
If they're part of, if I'm speaking on homelessness, maybe if you go check and look, you'll see how many tents are down there with homeless people, then maybe you'll see why I spoke on the Raritan River. Once you see the pictures of how much garbage is down there and all the people that stay down there, come on. Please look into it. Like I said, I'm a person, what I speak, I prove, and you should know me by now. I have never seen, not just New Brunswick, and truly just not because of COVID-19. Like I said, when this mayor, all he cares about is Robert Wood Johnson, Rutgers, George Street, and Johnson & Johnson? Come on. I pray to see homeless people get more help. I'm there, believe me, I donate stuff, food, help them and all, but come on, something has to be done. If you can't really help the homeless, I say start making rules. Have a meeting on rules or something, start ticketing them so they will start respecting the different places. But come on, once you do see the pictures with what I'm talking about, and then you take a walk down to the river, you'll see how many tents, how many people are sleeping down there. But thank you. You will see the evidence later on. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public that want to speak on any resolutions listed?
Move to close the public
Second.
portion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, is there any commissioner that has to vote on resolutions separately?
Yes.
Please state.
Director, I have 22-575R.
575?
575, yes.
Okay. Deputy Director?
I've got 22554R.
That's it?
Yep.
Mr. Council?
Yes, Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 22-546 through resolution 22-620, excluding resolutions 22-575 to resolution 22-554 to be voted upon separately.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar-Barber?
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny?
Yes.
County Commissioner Hopple? County Commissioner McCollum?
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio?
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution excluded by Commissioner McCollum. It's resolution 22-575.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar-Barber?
Yes.
County Commissioner
Yes.
Kenny? County Commissioner Hopple? County Commissioner McCollum?
Present but abstaining.
County Commissioner Nara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio?
Yes.
Finally, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution excluded by Deputy Director Nara. It's resolution 22-554.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Escobar-Barber?
Yes.
County Commissioner
Yes.
Kenny? County Commissioner Hopple?
Yes.
County Commissioner McCollum?
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara?
Present but not voting?
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rio?
Yes. At this time, I open up the meeting to the public. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name is Shima. I'm from Middlesex College. I'm counseling faculty and an AFT
Can you
community
give your
member.
address, please?
Somerset, New Jersey.
Okay.
Thank you. So I just wanted to introduce, I know you can see out here how many people are here today. And we're here today to talk about the state of the college. We don't want today to be contentious, and we definitely don't want our presence here to have the opposite effect of what we want. We want to communicate, we hope through our voices, you see our commitment to the college, and hope you will partner with us to help move the college forward. You're going to hear from faculty that have worked at the institution for 50 years. They pretty much grew up at the institution. 30 years, 20 years, those who are just starting their career at the institution. But I hope you hear from them their passion and commitment to the school. But more importantly, you're going to hear from our students, former veterans who served our nation, first-generation students, first ones in their family graduating. And I hope you're inspired and moved by what they say, and that this goes beyond today's conversation, that we can collectively talk together about how to move the college forward. The reality is that enrollment is low. Morale is at an all-time low. Communication doesn't exist. Just yesterday there was a board meeting, and through the college lawyer we were told that answers to our questions will come at the end of the month. Now, we want to communicate and talk through things with our administration. Employees who have worked at the college for years have left to pursue other jobs at other colleges for better working conditions, better environment. Faculty have retired in large numbers, and the positions haven't been replaced. In fact, just recently 2 administrative positions were posted on a faculty line. So there's no commitment to faculty and putting money back into teaching faculty. Now, we've tried speaking to our college administration, we tried speaking to the board, and that's why we're here appealing to you today. Many of you I've spoken to on various things outside of this, at fundraisers, at political events. Some of you I've stood shoulder to shoulder at protests and rallies. And I say this because you're more than just commissioners. You're real people who are committed to seeing change and passionate about being public servants. And as I stand here looking, I remember the last conversation I had with Kenny Armwood, and it was after a rally, a human rights rally, and as we hugged goodbye, he said, we're all in this together. So whether we're rallying for human rights or rallying for our institution, I hope you walk away after hearing us today knowing that we're all in this together. And Mr. Rios, I always remember the story you told me on multiple occasions about, and you'll see the faculty out here, about one of your professors, when you were a college student, handed you in the class a bag of coins, and he said, you'll be the change. You'll be the change that the world sees. I know I'm not telling the story properly, but the theme of the story was change. And I tell my colleagues that story because I know what you're passionate about. I know what the commissioners are passionate about. So I hope you are with us for the much needed change that needs to happen at the institution and at the college. And I just want you all to know we're all in this together. So thank you for your time. And I'd like to turn the mic over to Patricia Payne, AFT Union President with Local 1940 at Middlesex College. Thank you.
I'm asking you, please, let's maintain order so everyone that wants to speak can speak, and they have the courtesy of being heard.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Patricia Payne. I live in Middletown, New Jersey. As Shima said, I'm the president of Local 1940 AFT, and that we represent the full-time faculty at Middlesex College. I have been a faculty member at Middlesex College for the last 32 years. I'm a proud graduate of Middlesex County College. I am proud to serve the institution that gave me my start. My oldest son graduated from MCC, my brother too, and my sister is currently attending. And we are all lifelong residents of Middlesex County, a place we choose to live, where the standards are high, and thanks to the leadership of county officials like you, remain so. Tonight we are here to ask for your continued support to maintain those same high county standards for Middlesex College, to continue to support teaching and learning, to continue contributing to the success of our students. We ask, when given the opportunity, you voice your support for the faculty of Middlesex College. We have spent the last 2 years teaching, providing counseling services, admissions work, along with a fully operating library, all that during the global pandemic. We never stopped working. We moved everything to a virtual platform, using and purchasing our own technology equipment, upgrading our internet, buying any teaching supplies that we needed without a second thought. And with 3 days to prepare, we began to teach remotely, something never done before in the history of our college. And we never missed a beat. We never canceled classes. We never turned a student away from a counseling session or a library service. We worked through a worldwide public health emergency without a contract, without the proper safety protocols communicated or in place when we finally returned. We consistently offered help. With a COVID plan, we were routinely dismissed. We are not here to negotiate a contract. We understand the dynamics of that process, and we have attempted in good faith to work within the framework of that process. During the first year, we tried to communicate and work with the administration to reach settlement. Our efforts were ignored. In the second year, we tried to communicate and give input to the Board of Trustees, and we were also ignored. Tonight, we are here to publicly show the commitment that each faculty member in this room has, that each student has, that members of the public have, who all wish to see our institution once again begin to thrive. Students and faculty work together through a gut-wrenching 2 years of sickness filled with fear and anxiety on the front lines, on campus, and in virtual classrooms. And together, we kept our institution open every day, every single day. What are the glaring omissions? The lack of respect, communication, and support by the college president and his administrative team in failing to find the value and commitment we brought to our students during the hardest 2 years of our working professional lives. We gave it everything we got. We poured our hearts and souls into continuing to serve our students when we were all facing the consequences of trying to figure out how to live through a potential health crisis of historic proportion. We never stopped working.
Hold on a second. Can you give her another mic, please?
Just 1 second.
I'm just going to back up a sentence. We poured our hearts and souls into continuing to serve our students when we were all facing the consequences of trying to figure out how to live through a potential health crisis of historic proportion. We never stopped working. We never said we can't do it. We never said we won't do it. We did it. And we kept our institution up and running for our students, through our own COVID sicknesses, our students getting sick, our families becoming ill and hospitalized, and in some cases so severe, even death. At this point, it seems almost incomprehensible that the only thing we've asked for is a fair contract settlement. Nothing more than that. We know you are committed to the investment in teaching and learning. We know you are committed to investing in student services. We know you are committed to our students, just as the faculty are. We don't have to ask you that you continue that commitment. We know that you will. We're counting on that. Tonight, you're going to hear from more faculty and some students who will share their Middlesex experiences. And we don't do this kind of thing that often, you know, at this level of public meeting. I think it's time we visit more often. Thanks. You're going to hear from some students next.
Somebody want to speak? Otherwise, we'll close the public portion. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Melvin Ronas, and I'm from Piscataway. Good evening, Director, members of the board, and all others who are here attending this meeting. My name is Melvin Ronas, and I am a student at Middlesex College, as well as a veteran of the United States Marine Corps with 8 years of active duty service. First, I would like to say what an honor it is to be here today. Casting a vote for you all is one thing, but being able to meet in person is a whole other, for which I am profoundly grateful for. So thank you for having us. By the way, I too hope that one day I will be sitting in your shoes, working as a public servant, as has become my dream and goal to pursue. So I come to you today to express my experience at Middlesex College, as well as some concerns I have, for which I think you will all be interested in hearing. To start off, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Middlesex College, and more importantly, to all the teachers who have helped me throughout my 2 years there. I thank them all for their commitment and dedication to the institution, especially during the global pandemic. Their brave actions and devotion to that school has certainly helped to inspire students, myself being one of them, to continue with higher education. To be honest, very few, if any, in my family have some college. Most have never had the money nor the opportunity to attend. So college has never been a thing for my family. Working has. I'm from a family of workers who work their tails off to provide for their families. This is also one of the reasons why I chose to serve our country. And if it weren't for parachuting injuries and other factors, I'd most likely still be serving. The good news is, though, as a veteran with an honorable discharge, you are awarded educational benefits. Now, at first, I was nervous and did not know what to expect, especially because it had been about a decade since I had been in a classroom setting without cameras. And to make matters worse, my first semester was during the initial outbreak of COVID-19. Needless to say, I was stressing, and honestly even thought about quitting. But luckily for me, I met some amazing professors at Middlesex College who pushed me and motivated me to engage with the institution. This allowed me to grow and helped me to fall in love with college, specifically Middlesex College. Overall, with the support of the faculty and staff here, I'm now graduating with an associate's degree in political science at the end of the semester. And again, I cannot thank the teachers enough for everything they have done. I also want to share my sincere gratitude to Veteran Services and to all those I have met along the way. At first, I thought it was going to be rough, going back to school after 10 years. But from the moment I first walked in, I was welcomed and treated with the utmost respect. On top of that, the personnel there helped to make my transition from military to school flow as smoothly as possible. They always stayed connected and made it a point to reach out to ensure there were never any issues. Our previous coordinator even allowed us to bring our children if for any reason we could not find childcare. And we all know how expensive childcare can be. Another reason I cannot thank Veteran Services enough is for the opportunity that was offered to me as a work-study ambassador. There I was able to learn more about certifying veterans benefits, which in turn led me to helping many new students as well as some that were already attending. Overall, my time at Middlesex College has been amazing. But as I leave, I'm starting to become more and more aware of some of the issues which are causing a deep sense of demoralization on campus. I'm sure you're all aware of some of those issues, and really it's the big reason why we're all here. Now in the military, one of the reasons why units thrive so well and have high morale and great camaraderie is due to the communication and the connection us brothers and sisters have with each other. Now once there's a lack of communication, that's when problems start to occur. And if that communication continues to be lacking, then the unit may begin to fall apart. And if that unit falls apart, then there is no mission. In reality, the mission then has failed. Now, Middlesex College has not failed. Personally, I think it's far from doing that, especially with the quality education and teachers that are at hand. However, I'm really concerned about the lack of communication in my department, as well as others which are facing the same issues. Now, to some, that may not seem like a big deal, but when students are starting to feel the tension in the school, that means that they are being affected by these issues. All I ask for, and I hope it's not too much, is for the Board of Commissioners to investigate these matters, to have them resolved so the Middlesex College can continue to be great, and if anything, be better than what it is now. I love this school. It's my school, as it is yours, and I will continue to fight to make this school better. Will you? Thank you for your time.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all doing great. My name is Khan.
Can you just speak closer to the mic and a little louder, please?
So I'm currently a student at Brunswick University, and I recently graduated from Middlesex College with a 3.9 in GPA, and that GPA granted my admission at Brunswick University. And for that, I'm very thankful for my professors who really put their efforts and really helped me throughout my journey. And I was an immigrant from Pakistan, and I was lived in a very small village there. And when I came here, I was so nervous, and I don't know how to start, where to start. I was so lost. And then I joined Middlesex College, and it played an amazing role in making my base, and that's all because of some amazing professors who really helped me, and they shared their knowledge with me. You see a diamond or a hole before giving it shape. It's just like ordinary stone. And then there's a whole process behind this that must be undertaken by professionals, expert knowledge, and equipment tools, since every single position that comes affect profitability. And our professors are just like those who made me from ordinary students to a confident students. And especially in 2 years of pandemic, when everything was so difficult to manage, my professors really made everything so easy for students. They always replied my emails as fast as they could. They are always ready to meet with me students. If I needed some extra help, they are always ready to understand me. All modules for all classes were updated on time and on regular basis. I always get my credit assignments on time with super helpful comments. And trust me, it is not an easy job. It is not an easy job to reply each assignment with super helpful comments on each assignment of every student. And also, let me tell you, when I came here, I don't like economic stats, and especially the major that I choose, political science. I couldn't even imagine about that. I only love bio, and I wanted to be a doctor. And then I realized to become a doctor, I have to wait for a long period and then be ready to handle it financially. So in my first semester, I took one state and local government course, and then took constitutional law, and that convinced me to pursue a career in immigration law. I have confidence now to continue my education and go to law school, and for that, I'm thankful to my professors who made every lecture, every lesson, every subject so easy and interesting for me. They all know what will best given to their content in the student learning way. They all know what keeps students actively thinking, writing, comparing, and applying their knowledge. I believe that what makes Middlesex College is so unique and the best is its faculty members. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to appreciate my professors. They are really deserve this appreciation. Thank you, professors. Thank you, Middlesex.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Donovan Dixon.
Can you speak closer and louder to the mic?
Oh, I'm sorry. Donovan Dixon. I live in Somerset now, but I was born and raised in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I spent my whole life being educated in Middlesex County. I am now a student of Middlesex County College, and it has been the most transformative experience of my short life. I came into the college not knowing anything about myself or who I wanted to be or what I wanted to do, but it was due to the dedication and the efforts of my professors that I am now deciding to be and dedicate myself to a life of public service. I am a philosophy major because of my professor, Giuseppe Rotolo. I want to go to law school because of my professor, Patricia Payne. I have a plan on how to do that because of my counselor, Jason Homewood. It is due to these full-time professors, due to the full-time staff at Middlesex County, that myself and many others like me have life goals and life paths that they want to accomplish. And I cannot stress enough how important that how important the work that they do each and every day, despite so many challenges and despite so much against them, that they show up every single day with smiles on their face and being ready 100% to not only deal with their own burdens, but the burdens of their students. And my professors, like I said before, Patricia Payne, Giuseppe Rotolo, Terrence Corrigan, Cristobal Espinoza, and Jennifer Holman, and so many more like them that I've gotten to know them at my time in Middlesex. And I know that they are just very much like you in dedicating themselves to a greater purpose and to the public and to the future of the place and the people that they love. And so I know, like, speaking to you, not as a constituent or student to commissioner, but just person to person and just current student to former student, I know that hearing my professors and myself and my fellow classmates speak, that you must think back to when you were a student and how much your professors aided you and supported you, and that they were only able to do that because they had the support of their colleges, they had the support of their towns, they had the support of their, of their states. And so I'm asking you to support my professors and the staff at Middlesex as much as they support the students there. And I want to thank you for the time. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Professor Jerry Olson, Middlesex County College, Colesmith, New Jersey. What do they say, dogs, kids, now students, right? I'm a member of the Executive Council, Local 1940 AFT, the Faculty Union, for the past 47 years. I'm very fortunate for a very long time to be a full-time faculty member at the college. More importantly, I'm part of a hardworking, dedicated faculty, but I'm here tonight to inform you about the unfortunate state of Moore County College, the one you've been elected to oversee, to fund. We've been trying to tell this to our administration, to our Board of Trustees, but nobody's listening. Neither the college's administration nor the Board of Trustees has acknowledged our concerns about the state of the college and the current impasse of negotiations. We've received no replies to our emails, no responses to our requests for a discussion. President Mark McCormick refuses to hold an open forum with the faculty, meet with the union's executive council. The board won't even ask him to do so. With me this evening are college professors, counselors, reference librarians, other professional personnel. We represent many thousands of hours working with students. And the one thing we're very proficient at is preparation. We try to have meaningful conversations. Nobody wants to listen to us. We write emails. We speak to the Board of Trustees. Nothing happens. Tonight, I hope it's difficult. The residents of Middlesex County Trust rely on your oversight for their county college. We've come here with the hope that you'll ask the Board of Trustees, the college's administration, to take the necessary steps to offer reasonable terms in order to settle our contract and restore Middlesex College's ranking to the top of the list in New Jersey's top county college, because you know what, we're not anymore. We don't even rank in the top 3. And if you don't listen, we are prepared, because we're prepared to present our case to the residents of the county. We're going to post and share on Facebook and Instagram that the board approved almost $500,000 to remove that 6-letter word from the name of their alma mater. We're going to tweet, retweet that while we spent hundreds of hours of personal time and funds during the pandemic without a raise, the board allowed the college to award merit paid raises to its administrators for their efforts during the pandemic. They allowed the board to give its president a raise every year for the past 2 years. They've allowed the board to pay $250,000 of taxpayers' money to a law firm that's more concerned with racking up hundreds of billable hours rather than settling our contract. We're going to carry signs on campus that state that instead of replacing the many full-time faculty positions that we've lost due to retirements and deaths over the last 2 years, the college is increasing the number of administrative hires, part-time faculty. We're going to ask them why this board allows its thousands of students to be serviced by understaffed counseling, admissions, financial aid, and library professional services. And you know what? If necessary, we're prepared to shut our classes down. The work's not. We're going to stand in front of the college's entrances on Woodbridge Avenue, Mill Road. We're going to remind our students, the hundreds of motorists and truckers who drive past, that under your oversight, Middlesex College, their county college, doesn't rank at the top of the list of county colleges anymore. You know, at yesterday's board meeting, there was a presentation by one of our very successful graduates, and afterwards, everybody couldn't say enough about his accomplishments, and he deserves everything. But you know what? Not one person there acknowledged the people who helped him along the way. He didn't do it himself. Our student success comes as a result of the efforts of skilled and experienced admissions, financial aid professionals, qualified, compassionate counselors, knowledgeable reference librarians, and dedicated faculty. Unfortunately, that's not the prevailing attitude, nor is it the environment. In fact, it's a major reason for the low morale. So we have no contract, no raise, no respect. Yet we're here, we continue to teach, we're committed, and we care. But you know what? It'd be much better if we knew you had our backs. Thank you very much.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening. Keith Bosler, instructor of mathematics, Middlesex College from Jackson, New Jersey. The year 2020 was one hell of a year. Of course, national and international news of the year are well known by all. But what about the local news? I'm not talking about regional lockdowns or local political protests. I'm talking about your friendly neighborhood community college. I am a member of the faculty of Middlesex College. In March of 2020, we received short notice that our classes would be moving to remote operations due to the restrictions demanded by the newborn pandemic. Without giving it a second thought, each member of the Middlesex faculty made preparations to deliver their classes and services in a remote format, purchasing new computers, headsets, cameras, dry erase boards, tablets, and the like. We took the cost of these purchases on the chin, and when the college offered us a $500 stipend to cover whatever costs we had, what did we do? We kept silent, carried on with our duties. Next, we were told that the pandemic would force the college to cut costs by implementing a pay freeze. And what did we do? We kept silent and carried on with our duties. The faculty union contract expired on July 1st of 2020. Negotiations for a successor agreement had been on pause since the onset of the pandemic. Despite this, we carried on with our work. This work included voluntary delivery of assessments and data collections for our 2021 Middle States accreditation visit. We did this in good faith that our contract negotiations would be fair, respectful, and productive. Middle States put us on notice, by the way. The college was now going to rely heavily on faculty to help bridge the gaps that were discovered. Except now it was July 1st of 2021, and we were at the 1-year mark of the expiration of our contract with no successor agreement in place. As a faculty, we decided that we could no longer keep silent on the issue of an unsettled contract. We decided that we would no longer accept negotiating sessions in which management barely offered an inch and expected a mile from the faculty. We decided to send a loud and clear message to management that without the faculty there would be no students, and without those students there would be no college. That message has been nothing but roaring silence to college management, from mid-level deans right up to the trustees themselves. On the website, Middlesex College lists 6 institutional values, and management can certainly learn a lot from their own preaching. Number 1, excellence. Middlesex says they value a rigorous and supportive learning environment, though they do not value the excellence of their faculty in developing such environments, preferring instead to replace us with adjuncts. Number 2, integrity. Middlesex says they pride themselves in fostering an honest and respectful institutional culture, though the faculty see nothing respectful in the way that contract negotiations have been handled. Number 3, diversity. Middlesex says they respect and celebrate acceptance and understanding. Unfortunately, they do not accept that faculty are critical to institutional success. Number 4, collaboration. Middlesex says they promote a culture of cooperation and engagement. Hard to believe when the college president himself doesn't wish to engage the faculty, and when the contract process is seemingly now fast approaching the state-level fact-finding phase. Number 5, transparency. Middlesex says they embrace authentic and transparent communication. Now, unfortunately, a weekly feel-good email from the college president hardly counts as transparent. And number 6, civility. Middlesex says they foster respect and congeniality. There is no respect in 0%. There is no respect in a salary offer that falls below a living wage increase. There is no respect in hiring a labor attorney whose only goal is billable hours to the college rather than negotiating in good faith at the bargaining table. There is no respect in violating law and not allowing us to join a new health care plan pursuant to the time frame as outlined in legislative parameters. How can the public believe the values of its own backyard college when the college itself preaches with forked tongue? Thank you.
I'm going to ask everyone to please be civil and respect that this is a meeting and we need to have order and decorum. Please. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Lavalette, New Jersey. I'd like to begin by thanking you, the Board of Commissioners, for listening to our concerns. For 2 years, our administration and their attorneys have willfully refused to hear faculty input, take it seriously, and engage collaboratively on important matters. I should also declare that I am not, as some people also are not, a tenured faculty member. So I hope my remarks here will not upset that application process. I'd like to speak, if I may, about the part-time faculty at Middlesex College. For the better part of the last decade, I was an adjunct instructor, shuttling from campus to campus, cobbling together or attempting to cobble together a living from part-time gigs. Today, I oversee an ever-changing pool of 53 part-time instructors who receive no medical benefits, no semester-to-semester guarantees of employment. This is a talented, innovative cross-section of teachers committed to progressive pedagogy and game for new challenges. They also happen to work for poverty wages. They are forced to pick up teaching gigs at 2 or 3 or 4 different schools all around the state just to make rent. While gas prices soar, adjuncts drive more than they teach. In summers, they wait tables, they bartend, they budget. They struggle under avalanches of student debt, and they stress mightily. In a recent survey from AFT, 25% of adjuncts reported making less than $25,000 annually. Fewer than half have access to affordable health insurance, and nearly 20% rely on Medicaid. 64% have foregone dental care. This exploitation would be outrageous enough were it not worsened by a nationwide over-reliance on adjunct labor. Colleges looking to cut costs outsource the job of teaching to a largely voiceless and replaceable workforce. Recommendations vary, but often suggest no more than 25% of the total instruction in any department should be handled by part-timers. Even so, non-tenure track positions account for 60% of all staff appointments in higher education. Part-time labor, no exaggeration, has become academia's bread and butter. At Middlesex, the dynamic is no different. In the last decade, the English department, my department, lost 18 full-time tenured instructors due to retirement, or finally, death. We've hired 5. That leaves us a deficit of 13 instructors, and all else is adjunctification. The gradual erosion of tenure, the kneecapping of a robust faculty. Who does this serve exactly? Not the part-timers who are regular visitors to our on-campus food pantry. Not the students who depend upon these talented, it should be mentioned, talented and exploited teachers. Our adjuncts host office hours without offices. Zoom meetings in their cars. They call us frantically, petrified that they won't be offered a course in the coming semester, that they can't make rent, that they'll have to give up teaching their career for something more stable. What kind of support can a student reasonably expect in a climate like this? Spread thin, underpaid, adjuncts and our other part-time workers cannot devote themselves to one college exclusively. Considering their pay scale, it would be patently immoral to ask them to do that. To say that a college can't run on part-time labor is no knock to these very capable instructors. Their talent is immense, and they deserve to be compensated for their service to the college. Not with faint praise, not with awards, but with wage increases, job security, and benefits. In short, they need a pathway to full-time work. Our union has argued over and over for the creation of more tenure lines and full-time appointments. And an investment, to be sure, but one that prioritizes students. One that restores our depleted ranks and allows us to provide programming to this county. We want our fellow teachers to have one thing: employment with dignity. Please, if you can.
Time is up. Thank you. State your name and address, and we have 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Dolan. I'm a South Brunswick resident, and I'm a librarian at Middlesex College. I've been a librarian there for 25 years, and 12 more faculty. As you've been hearing, the college is full-time faculty, but also the office workers, the absentee office workers, have been working without a contract since July 1st, 2020, almost 2 years. Morale on campus is as low as I've ever seen. Faculty and staff are frustrated by the college administration's active unwillingness to negotiate in good faith toward an agreement. Negotiation sessions have been routinely postponed or canceled, requests for sessions have been ignored, the tone has been oppositional at every turn. When the pandemic hit in March 2020, the faculty and staff reconfigured instruction and services, the library, counseling, admissions, within days, sometimes from scratch, often using their own resources, and kept things going almost uninterrupted for the duration of that semester and every semester since. In response, the administration proposed a salary increase of 0 for the first year and hasn't moved from that position since, despite near record inflation. The administration is represented by an outside lawyer who has no real power to make decisions, which has hindered progress and limited creative problem solving at the table. The lawyer's ultimate interest is not to settle the contract, but to extend negotiations so his firm can continue billing the college for as long as possible. From July 2020 through March 2022, the college spent more than $300,000 in taxpayer funds on this law firm, the Weiner Group. The April Board of Trustees meeting was yesterday and almost certainly included another large payment to be added to that $300,000 plus total. In fact, at its March meeting, the board authorized an additional $75,000 in future spending. It's as if there's an endless supply of taxpayer money to funnel out of the college, out of the county actually, the firm is in Parsippany. It's sickeningly wasteful. And what has the college gotten for all of that money spent? 2 of the 4 contract negotiations that the lawyer was hired to manage have gone virtually nowhere since the start and are currently in mediation headed toward fact finding. That's a slow process, which means more legal bills compounding over the next year or 2 years. Clearly, the board's authorization for an additional $75,000 is a signal that there's no end in sight. They can just keep raising the ceiling. Is it worth another $150,000, $200,000, which is the current pace if this drags on for another year? If you add that to what's already been spent, it'll be $500,000. is this the best use of taxpayer money? Why not invest that money within the college? Keep it in the county. That money would go a long way toward a fair contract with those of us who work directly with the students and shape their experience at Middlesex. We are what they come to the college for. We are what they pay tuition for. Please make sure that the college administration and the Board of Trustees invest in the people who make the college what it is, and not in some outside law firm with no interest in our students or our mission. Thank you for your time.
Manager said you have 5 minutes.
Virgil Blanco, can you hear me? Virgil Blanco, Edison, New Jersey. Let's see, this always happened. I mean, I've been in Middlesex practically all my life, and I always pride myself on working in Middlesex College. And I find this really disturbing. As a good teacher, I don't want to give you a whole lecture. I just want to give you some basic concepts. And then I will give you a homework, which my wife has, that you can read when you get home. Right? Mine? Yeah, towards you can look here. Fine. Just concept number 1. Things will never be the same. Things have changed after the pandemic. The college is a different place. You cannot play the same game. Students have changed. They demand something different. Please get that message, it's very important. If you want to come to my classrooms, talk to the students. You have heard some of them here. Things have changed. If you don't realize that things have changed, you will not be prepared for the changes that are taking place. This is important. Number 2, we have a strategic plan that was prepared like about 5 years ago. It's totally useless. It's obsolete. It doesn't correspond with the reality of today. We're talking about facelifting buildings. We're talking about investing in attorneys and things like that. We have to invest on technology. Our technology is not very good. Sometimes I'm teaching and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. The first day of school this semester, we went back to school. The bathrooms didn't work. The heating system didn't work. And the Wi-Fi didn't work. What else do you want? Now, I was trying to think, preparing for this, well, why is it that Putin in Russia there is losing, why Napoleon lost and everything? And in history classes you learn that when generals do not listen to the soldiers on the front line, they're doomed to fail. We are the soldiers on the front line. We're warning you, things have changed. We have to work on a new strategic plan. We're willing, we're offering here. We have here all the full-time faculty. We're all willing to volunteer our time to work for you, representing the taxpayers of Middlesex, on a new strategic plan that responds to the realities of today. We're working on something that is really unrealistic. It doesn't work. I'm sure, especially for your director and so on, you probably took Economics 101. There's basically, the 3 factors of production: land, capital, and labor. Right? In modern days now, there's another factor, which is human capital. In the old times, the capital was the machinery. Labor were the workers, and land was the building. Today we have human capital. What is the human capital of Roy Wood Johnson? The doctors. What is the human capital of a law firm? The attorneys. Without attorneys, there are no law firms. Without doctors, there's no hospital. And without professors, there's no college. So, you know, and we humbly, you know, we're here, as you can tell, we're not being arrogant or whatever. We're really just pleading for your college, our college. Stop the facelifting of buildings that were facelifted for $4 or $5 million 7 years ago. Invest on technology, invest on education. We have one counselor who deals with students with disability.
Your time is up, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for
Thank you. Please state your name and address, and we have 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Rose Lazeski. I live in North Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm a resident of Middlesex County, a past student of Middlesex County College, and a taxpayer and voter. So I'm here tonight, and I'm glad I have this opportunity to be here tonight to express my concerns about the current state of our community college. The college, you know, through the pandemic, the college stayed afloat. But right now, it feels like there's a bit of a slippery slope. And this really concerns me. I don't work at the college. I'm a citizen. I'm a concerned taxpayer. I'm someone who attended county college. I actually came from a household where we were working poor, and I left home as a late adolescent to make my way in the world. And I worked, and that was what there was. There was working. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I realized that unless I had an advanced degree, I was not going to reach my potential. So when I went back to be in the academic world, it was at Middlesex County College. And I was scared to death. But I had really dedicated professors who taught me and nurtured me. And I was able to then go from there to Rutgers to get my bachelor's, my master's, and I work as a professional here in town. But that experience of knowing that there were people there who had skin in the game, that were dedicated and knowledgeable educators, trained educators. I have to add here, somewhat ruefully, I must admit, that I went back to Middlesex and did a couple of semesters adjunct teaching, you know, and quite frankly, I sucked at it. I'll be honest. Because I was under the impression that somehow my skill set, my degrees, my advanced degrees, my ability to perform in my chosen field made me eligible to be a good teacher. And it didn't. Because none of my classes were in teaching. You know, I'm a social worker by trade. And quite frankly, when I'm doing what I do at Rutgers Cancer Institute, I'm very grateful when people who are not social workers don't try to social work the patients. You know, I stay in my lane and they stay in their lane. There are many, many fine adjunct teachers, I am absolutely sure, much better than I was. But they are still not substitutes for permanent, skilled, trained educators who have dedicated their lives to the most important entity at any college, the students. The students. So, you know, so many wonderful things have been said here tonight, and I'm absolutely sure that there's not much that I can really add to this. But, you know, when we were talking about the bond ordinances of 462 and 464, that's like $6.5 million in capital investment. But as the previous speaker was mentioned, human investment. Where's the human investment? I don't believe there's anything more important than making sure that those people who teach at our community college, at our county college, know that they're appreciated, get a fair shake, fair contract, and that there's an increase in hiring of additional tenure-track faculty. Thank you for your time.
Please state your name and address, and we have 5 minutes.
I have a video that we pointed out. Can I tell you when to start it?
That video is part of your 5 minutes.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Dan Marie
for Middlesex Borough. Further to my question about the flooding in Piscataway Old Town Village from the last meeting, the images in the video that we're going to play come from photos taken by Piscataway Public Information Officer Gene Wilk from satellite photos and from drone video following Ida. The drone video starts at Rutgers Football Stadium and pans across the immediate area of Route 18, Johnson Park, and the Landing Lane Bridge. Your estimation of flooding falls short of what can really take place as tropical storms and hurricanes intensify as they have over the past decade. Video, please. Oh, there's no audio. There's no audio. Yeah. Can we pause my time?
Which pushed ocean water inland. In contrast, Hurricane Ida caused pluvial flooding, which is flooding from rainfall, a problem that sea barriers and other coastal protections can't solve. In 2019, Rutgers University and the NOAA Office for Coastal Management created NJ Flood Mapper, an interactive mapping website to visualize exposure from coastal flooding hazards. The satellite imagery available in this tool shows the extent of Hurricane Ida's flooding within Johnson Park as a whole, and in the Old Town Village specifically. The satellite images show that the flooding reached the Runyon Wagon House and the Smokehouse, and submerged the parking lot, the Liberty Grounds baseball field, half of Antill Gardens, and much of Johnson Drive. When the Old Town Village area is overlaid with FEMA flood maps, it shows that the flooding there during Ida not only surpassed the area designated as a floodway, shown by the diagonal lines, it also surpassed severe flooding zone AE, shown in blue. The flooding reached zone X, marked in orange, defined as only a 0.2% annual flood hazard zone. By contrast, when the Hurricane Sandy storm surge is overlaid on the map, shown in dark blue, it shows that Sandy storm surge flooding remained within the floodway area and did not reach zones AE or X. Why was Hurricane Ida's flooding significantly worse at the Old Town Village than Hurricane Sandy? Hurricane Ida caused much more pluvial flooding from rainfall rather than the storm surge of Sandy. Most extreme weather resiliency efforts since Sandy have focused on coastal protections. Current infrastructure is not prepared for record-breaking rainfall events, and FEMA flood maps are not designed to model extreme pluvial flooding. In areas like Middlesex County, where a high percentage of land is covered by buildings and roads, there is higher runoff above ground. This causes outdated drainage systems to exceed capacity, leading to floods. Though not designed to model pluvial flooding, NJ Flood Mapper includes models of storm surge predictions. These models were developed by the National Weather Service to estimate floods resulting from hurricanes rated Category 1 through Category 4. As shown, the storm surge for Hurricane Sandy, in blue, matches up with the predictive model for Category 1. When the model for Category 2 hurricanes is selected, it shows that a storm surge would submerge a significant portion of the Old Town Village and most of Johnson Drive. The Category 3 and 4 hurricane models show that the Old Town Village would be completely submerged. There is no area in Johnson Park that is resilient enough against climate change and the threat of flooding to be safe for captive animals.
Yeah, so further to that, it makes no sense to move any of the animals there. In fact, you should consider moving the whole village to a different location that doesn't flood, if you would like to preserve it. It will flood. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public? Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Ashley Hartwick of Highland Park, and I'm here to talk about the flooding, but before that, I actually want to speak on Middlesex College, because 2 years ago, I decided to make a career change, and I took 30 credits of science courses at Middlesex College during the pandemic while working full-time. And just today, coincidentally, I was accepted to a doctoral program at Tufts University Medical School, and it was my first course. So I want to say thank you to the faculty of Middlesex College. You are very literally changing the world. When I come back here to practice as a medical professional, my foundational knowledge will be from the faculty of Middlesex College. You deserve money and you deserve respect, and I'll be with you. I'll try to help you get it. So, to the flooding again. So we see in the satellite images in the video that Anne-Marie just played, the Hurricane Ida flooding did penetrate into the Old Town Village site. It reached several structures in the Old Town Village, like the Runyon Wagon House and the Smokehouse, and completely submerged several other features, like the ball field, the garden, and the parking lot. And in the assessment that we looked at from French and Perillo, it stated the consultants were considering putting the husbandry program where the ball field was, but decided not to because the ball field was in use. It seems that they did not even see the satellite photo of the flooding in Ida. And that's what happens when you rely only on FEMA flood maps. The assessment stated the flood maps were from 2010. That's outdated in terms of climate change. So the last time I was here in this meeting, I was told that where the husbandry program will be is at an elevation of 20 feet, which is out of the floodway. That corresponds to the elevation of Johnson Drive, and as you just saw, Johnson Drive was underwater during Hurricane Ida. I also went to one of the structures that the flooding reached to in Hurricane Ida, the Smokehouse, on a hot, sunny day, and I opened the door to it, and there was a layer of water covering the floor, which indicates drainage issues at that site, which I have a video of. So the satellite images show that the flooding surpassed the floodway zone, it surpassed flood zone AE, and reached flood zone X, which is currently rated with a 0.2% chance of flooding yearly. So it doesn't matter that the proposed site is not in the floodway because the flooding exceeded the floodway by far. During Hurricane Ida, the entire 478 acres of Johnson Park was a lake. The entire 4-mile length of Johnson Park was a lake. So we can look at the satellite photo and say, okay, in this 478 acre lake, we can find this 1 or 2 acre area between the Old Town Village and the Parks Department office, and it only penetrated a little bit into that area. It wasn't submerged, even though it was surrounded on all sides by record-breaking flooding. And we can say that because this island was not submerged, that means it's okay to build a new animal facility here. That's not in any way compatible with planning to be resilient against climate change and future extreme weather, to spend a lot of money to construct new facilities in a place you know will turn into a lake during a tropical storm with that sort of flooding. The main point is climate change. The world is changing quickly. We don't know how things will play out. So we can say the infrastructure we have now does not account for pluvial flooding, which is the heavy rain flooding as opposed to a storm surge. We can say FEMA flood maps are outdated in terms of climate change because they don't account for that flooding. We can say that there's no way to predict how bad these storms will be in the future and how many of them we're going to get. None of us have any idea what we're in for with climate change, but we can use our common sense. And it's not common sense to seek out a tiny island in the middle of a lake caused by record-smashing flooding and say, that's the best place for us to put our new animal facility. I appreciate that there were people who wanted to keep animals in Johnson Park. I think it's great that that was accounted for. What these people repeatedly said is that they wanted a place in this area where they could see animals for free. That doesn't have to be in Johnson Park. There are other locations in this area where it could be that are more resilient to climate change and flooding. The area of Old Town Village that we've seen is not resilient to climate change and flooding whatsoever, and we will continue to oppose constructing a new animal facility there. That is all I have.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, that's Danielle Moore, Somerset Street. I would just like to first start off with saying, wow, honestly, like I said, it's time for all of you to go other than Mr. Ron Sanders. Due to where, wow, you paid $4.5 million for this boardwalk at the Raritan River, which you had to take down instead of giving these workers a contract where you wasted over $4.5 million for something to collect junk that you have to keep paying $200,000 to form, you can, I don't know how it works, I never did it before.
That's part of your 5 minutes, Danielle.
But yes, and you can see, due to where I told you the ground has risen, it causes the high tide to be up extremely higher, where that's just regular high tide. How it comes in now, due to where, now you can see all the filth and garbage that I'm talking about that is polluting our river. I have to go fast because I have so many pictures, but this is based on to show you how high a regular tide is. And I told you get them animals out of there last week. Well, the next day, was Johnson Park underwater? Please tell me, was it underwater again? And like I said, I hope all the garbage to show you what I'm talking about. What is Mayor Cahill doing? What are you doing? Wasting money. Please, come on, clean up our river. You keep saying you can't do anything, but come on. You still never cleaned up after Hurricane Ida down there. What, Mayor Cahill doesn't want to pay any workers? He went from 21 workers to 6 workers? No parks department? Please, clean it up. But like I said, I want to now, due to it, to show you low tide. You can walk across now. The ground has risen. And like I said, that's why you're going to see more flooding. We didn't even get 2 inches of rain 2 weeks ago. How did Johnson Park become underwater? Huh? That this is how, due to where, yes, I've been studying, I do pictures, due to where I'm an artist, I like to paint pictures, but to show you, I have to go pretty fast, all the garbage down there that they pay, instead they clean up instead of paying you guys a contract, come on, be for real. Filthy, please, now do you see what I'm saying? And you know I've been saying, who's responsible? Is it city or county for the past year or so with keeping it clean down there? Now to show you, like I said, tide goes completely out. That you were never ever to see the bottom of the Raritan River before at the boathouse. All the sewage drain, the drainage, everything goes down there. That's not even 5 feet, 10 feet deep anymore. You can barely ride a boat through there. And I will go back, now you can see the tent that I was talking about with people staying down there. Like I said, you can't say, I don't prove what I speak. All the garbage? Now to show you how the ground has risen. The tide is going to keep coming in higher. You think last year was something? Wow, look at the pollution in the water there, all of that. Please. And what do you guys do and Mayor Cahill keep investing in? To waste over $4.5 million to take that down? Put it up and take it down? Please, come on, to do the right thing. Like I said, please, do any of you really even care? All this garbage, what is Mayor Cahill doing? And now to show you, like I said, here we go, there's the flood. Didn't I tell you? I said, get them animals out of there last meeting. Did it flood the next day? Look at all the water coming in. Now please, you saying hurricane season is going to be much worse this year? And you're even already talking about putting something else up there? No way, until that water is dredged and clean, you get the feds involved. I can tell you now, every 2 weeks you're going to keep seeing a major flood over there. You can't even really walk through there. That was downtown there. Please. Like I said, the ground has risen. You can't even keep the boats down. A waste of $5 million you did? Or you can hardly keep it down there, a boat down there. Rutgers, they're having trouble, doing their rowboats and everything, practicing due to where all the garbage. One thing I will have to do for getting my attention, please.
Time's up.
Thank you. Time's up. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Janet Radliff from Somerset, New Jersey, and I'm going to speak fast. I have some questions about Germain Farms, and I want to say up front that I'm not implying my concerns or anything that I believe any county officials would be aware of or be okay with. Nonetheless, I have to ask. In a recent email correspondence with a county spokesperson, it stated that compared to the 3 other sanctuaries the county has transferred animals to, Germain Farms has significantly greater experience than all three combined. The other three sanctuaries have demonstrated extensive education in their animals where they all peacefully live out their natural life. They have social media sites with regular updates on all their animals, contact info, as well as public events. I don't believe Germain's Farm is open to the public. They don't have a website, phone number, Facebook page, or even a public email address. The only thing I could find through old newspaper articles was they are pheasant breeders that kill pheasants for human consumption and profit. Over the years, the goats and rabbits have been bred at Johnson's Park. The email further states, Germain's Pheasant Farm has been a partner with the county in the management of our animal havens. Germain Farms offered their assistance to help relieve the pressure of care for some goats and rabbits from Johnson's Park. The email discloses the county's contract with Germain Farms stipulates recipient represents and warrants that its purpose, goal, and use of animals shall be for education and or exhibition. Is it possible Germain Farms has been breeding rabbits and goats supplied by Johnson's Park for human consumption, and can the verbiage be included in future contracts that no animals will go to any meat breeding farms regardless of species, period?
I've stated before that we're not going to be breeding any animals. We're not going to get involved with animal sanctuaries that are going to use them for food consumption. The purpose of us transferring animals is to go to a sanctuary that's going to take care of them.
Do you know this has not taken place in the past? Do you know, I'm not saying you know that, I'm just saying it's something that I think should be looked into, and I will continue. We really appreciate Rick personally doing all the sanctuary visits and his efforts in being so thorough, but was concerned to learn staff from Johnson's Park have been on site at Germain Farms to inspect their facility. The zoo advisors have indicated that the employees need much more training to care for the animals. Do you believe the park employees are qualified to do the facility inspection at Germain Farms? Patty Germain stated to me in October, Germain Farms has fallow deer. There are only 6 places in New Jersey that possess the specific permit needed to legally house fallow deer. Did the fallow deer at Germain Farms come from Johnson's Park?
Rick, did they come from Johnson Park? We haven't transferred any deer yet, and we're working on transferring them to a sanctuary that's certified that they could take them.
Okay, but in the past, they did not acquire fallow deer from Johnson's Park, because I'm just wondering how they could have gotten them. Okay. Do you plan on obtaining animals from Germain Farms for the Heritage Program?
No.
How is Germain Farms educating or exhibiting their animals?
I can't answer that. I'm not there. I don't know.
All right, but that was a stipulation.
I think I've expressed our board's position quite a few times here, that we are in the process to meet a lot of your demands from your group that you're...
And I appreciate that. And I'm not saying...
We have a commitment already, as I stated, that there will be animals transferred by the end of next week, and then we have commitments from other animal sanctuaries that will take the animals. So we're trying to do this in a methodical way that's fair to the animals as well. I've stated that our employees are going to be getting trained to make sure that they're compliant, because their interest is in taking care of the animals as well. And I have faith and confidence in them that they're trying to do their best, and we will have a process that's going to be a good process to go to a good sanctuary.
I just want to, point these out, learn from the past mistakes, and have open transparency.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name is Amanda Clark. I am a North Brunswick resident, actually born and raised in North Brunswick, recently South Brunswick. I am a Middlesex College student. I am also the head news writer for the Middlesex College Covadas newspaper. Now, I have been working with the faculty to report about their contract situations for the past months. I can't actually remember a time that I have not been reporting it. Now, next meeting, I do encourage all of you to have some coffee beforehand because these people really do respect that they deserve everything by not just money, they deserve the student to have they deserve the money because they make sure the students are set up for the future. They are there for the students and the students alone. They are not there to be greedy, they are there to be fair for the students and for themselves. And I do encourage everyone, because all of you have been dazing off, it appears, throughout this meeting, to have some coffee beforehand next time. Because the way everything has been dealing with, it does not look like it would be settled soon. Now, I do encourage all of you to please, truly,
I think everybody here has been listening to everything.
now this is my 5 minutes, please. Please do respect you. I truly do respect you, and please respect me.
Please.
Now, please give these people the attention they deserved throughout this entire night. It is late, but there's no excuse to not give them attention, not to give them a fair raise, fair salary, and just a fair workspace. Thank you.
Please state your name and address and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. It's good to have another journalist in the room, and I do want to just real quickly say thank you to the county college workers for all that they do, and that the people of New Brunswick stand with you in your fight. After the last meeting, if I were a football coach, I would have thrown my red challenge flag onto the field, because it turns out my remarks were interrupted 4 minutes, 56 seconds into my time, and you refused to let me finish my sentence. Now, normally not the biggest deal, we could laugh about that one day, but it was a problem because a sheriff's officer quickly took it upon themselves to invade my personal space and get between me and the microphone as a way of silencing me, and I didn't think that was appropriate, and I hope that you will run the meeting and use your words, and there's no need for the police to get involved, especially over the 5-minute time limit, which maybe doesn't need to be so strictly enforced. I want to ask what your reaction is to the news that County Clerk Nancy Pinkin was ordered to conduct a ballot position drawing after she tried to give your team the coveted line A without holding that drawing?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, well, it's cause for concern, part of a pattern I keep bringing up here of anti-democratic behavior from our leaders. As you know, and maybe some of you know, the Democratic organization chose to cancel the county committee elections for summer 2021, taking away the right of every Democrat in Middlesex County to select their neighborhood leaders. And now we have required parts of the electoral process that the constitutional officer, Nancy Pinkin, is just not doing her job. What about her trip to Ireland that she was on as all this was playing out? Did we pay for that? Was that county funds paying for her to travel to Ireland?
Did county funds pay for her trip to Ireland? No.
I do want to point out that the ES&S election equipment that is in use and the county clerk's office failed again. I went to vote on Tuesday and I was told I would not be able to vote on the voting machine. This was almost the first election I ever missed because the equipment was erroneously saying that I was a mail-in voter and had received a mail-in ballot and shouldn't be allowed to vote on the machine. I had to place calls to the county clerk's office. They told me you could just vote provisionally, but when I got through to the Board of Elections, they did the right thing and they called the county clerks and forced them to correct the error so that I was not deprived of my right to vote on the voting machine. I want to express continuing serious concerns about that vendor, ES&S, that provides our millions of dollars worth of election machines that keep screwing up, and Clerk Pinkin, who is impressing me with how many aspects of the job she's managed to screw up in her time in office. I've outlined some of these for you. And, you know, for example, the contest that was held Tuesday, other counties had elections. Clerk Pinkin was the only one who didn't use the World Wide Web to disseminate results. I don't understand why the greatest county in the land can't be using modern technology, and why specifically New Brunswick's school elections have less transparency than every other election. They are really bad about releasing the results specifically for New Brunswick school elections, and I can't help but think that something is wrong here. And I just do want to urge you to have a public discussion about this. I know you've put together a task force that's in private. I have volunteered to serve on it. I will be a part of it if you'll have me. But at the end of the day, these issues need to be made public. Having ES&S only do private meetings with people like Clerk Pinkin and having these folks not show up at the public Board of Elections meetings or these meetings is wrong. The public should know about our election systems, and we should be able to have confidence in them, and we can only have confidence in them if our leaders are out front and center, public with what they're doing, and when there's a problem, admit it. Because I will have to say, just honestly, objectively, the new clerk is much worse than the prior clerk. We're getting all these mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes. But when the last clerk made mistakes, she would explain them, she would sit down with you, she would take your call, she would talk to you. This clerk is avoiding questions and honestly, seriously causing problems for the voters of Middlesex County. So I'd like, can you comment on any of this? Can I be a part of this commission? How can I help to protect people's right to vote and make sure that folks like Nancy Pinkin and ES&S don't mess up our elections?
I'm not going to make any comments, Charlie, on behalf of Nancy Pinkin or her office, how I think you would know that answer by now.
Well, why doesn't she speak for herself?
Thumbs up.
Time is up. Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Nicholas Huss, Somerset, New Jersey. I'm a bit concerned about 2 animals in particular. One is a potbelly pig named Berkeley, who was moved from Johnson Park about 2 months ago to Merrill. Barkley the pig is morbidly obese. His belly drags on the ground. His energy when he is out of his house is lackluster. He seems to be in a very fragile state of mind as he struggles to hold himself up just for him to go to the bathroom. For the last 2 weeks, Berkeley's house has been removed, and I haven't seen him walking around in the enclosed space. Could you tell me where Berkeley is?
Berkeley's still at Merrill Park. We moved his house and his enclosure to the interior of the pen to give him more space, less stress, interact with people. And we also understand that individuals there unable to respect the signage that is up, asking folks please to not feed the animals. So we felt it was better to move into the interior where you can have more space, more peace and quiet.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
As Ryan has spoken many times regarding Ernie and Samwell, you all can clearly see the difference a true sanctuary can make to the lives of innocent sentient animals. Let us help Barkley the same way as we did for the other 2 that are now thriving and living their best life. If we intervene now, we could save the heartache and pain that would likely come if Barkley were to be kept at Merrill. Are you willing to release any needy animals that are currently displaying health issues now or in the future?
We plan on moving animals, and we're working with sanctuaries to make sure that when they're ready to staff the sanctuaries and be able to take the animals, that they'll take them.
Right. Would Barkley and Blue Zeus be 2 animals that are on that list?
I'm not sure at this point. I don't know if Rick has that answer.
I'm sorry, I don't know who Blue Zeus is.
Blue Zeus he's a white goat, I believe, with black spots that was moved the same time that Barkley the pig was moved from Johnson Park to Merrill Park.
Blue eyes.
I would have to look into it more for you. I'm just not placing it as we're speaking today. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, your comments are warranted. It's something that we can consider in our ongoing continued discussions and work with zoo advisors.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So there's this goat. His name is Blue Zeus. He was transferred to Merrill around the same time Barkley was. Since his arrival, he has been picked on by the other 4 alpha goats from the bunch. He fights his way to the fence in order to get food from the public, but he is immediately outpowered and outmatched by the others. Blue Zeus has pastern issues, which can be caused from a number of different topics. But we know if left untreated, things could take a turn for the worse. If you watch how he walks and stands, you can see on an intermediate term he is not always able to put pressure on either side of his front legs. He is forced to stand on 3 legs for the time being until the pain resides. Considering he went from not being bullied and picked on to being bullied and picked on top of his medical condition worsening, would you consider letting him go to a sanctuary in order to live out his life? And as you had said already, Rick, you know, we will gladly work with you for Barclay and Blue Zeus. So thank you. One last question. From reading the zoo assessment from F&P and Zoo Advisors, I see that they made new recommendations regarding housing for all animals. The new housing situation sounds a lot nicer than what is already in place. Do you plan on keeping the bare minimum like you have now by taking the existing structures and moving them over to the new location? Or do you plan to destroy what you have now and start all over again with what is recommended from Zoo Advisor?
We're going to move the animals that we need for the husbandry program, and whatever ones that we're not going to have, we're going to transfer to sanctuaries.
Yeah, so this is in regards to the shelters?
Use some of the facilities. We're probably going to try to retrofit or rehabilitate the housing for the animals. And if we need to, you know, build new, we'll build new. I mean, that's part of the process, but I'm just saying that we're making every effort to move the animals to a sanctuary. The ones that we plan on having at the old East Jersey Old Town Village, that's what we're going to have. It's not going to be a lot over there. I mean, Mark Nonstad mentioned last meeting of what the animals were.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Anyone else in the public, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Taylor Myers, I'm in Highland Park. And I just wanted to express my displeasure with the current plan as well, moving the animals that were in Johnson Park over to this new heritage breeding program. It sounds a lot
We're
like...
not breeding. I can't make it any clearer. We have no intention of breeding animals. This is an educational program that we're going to have at East Jersey Old Town Village.
What is husbandry?
We're not going to have breeding. Okay, we could change the title of the program.
Okay, all right, so my basic problem is that this is going to be under the same care of the same people who allowed a goat to die on their watch this summer, right? They took 3 days to call the vet.
You're telling me that people deliberately that work for us let an animal die? That's not the case.
3 days after the goat started giving birth, we had the goat died without any vet care. Right, that was under our watch, and we're going to do that again if we continue to house animals with the same management, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I?
Yeah.
So, if you've seen the plan from, or the document from French Perillo, the area that you're talking about is addressed in there. There's going to be, and I know you weren't, I don't think you were here the last meeting.
No, I watched.
Oh, okay. So there's going to be included in our strategic 2040 planning, a plan that's going to involve this area, whether it's the Havens there or the one at East Jersey or down at Monroe.
Yeah, so it has a lot to do with the, so yes, if you educate the staff there, that's great, but I still don't see the need for this at all. And I'm wondering, my main question tonight is just, have you done a public survey? We were told that you might have some sort of public survey group that would at least gauge the interest of this happening, this zoo being kept open or anything like this. Is there a need for the husbandry group? Who is this going to serve? And also, just how much taxpayer money is going to go into this?
There's a lot of programs that we have in Middlesex County that we don't receive revenue for, whether it be playgrounds for kids that we construct all over the county. They cost money and they're for the pleasure of our residents. And this is the same thing. There are people in Middlesex County that want to be able to go see animals and show their kids.
So who?
There have been people that came to our meetings here after your group initially started talking about the Johnson Park, and when they came, they expressed their opinions that they feel it's strongly that it's a good program to have animals in Middlesex County so that children can go see. We did an assessment with French and Perillo and zoo advisors.
So I think you're overestimating how many people actually want this here. Because the recent news that was put out after your meeting 2 weeks ago was all over everything, Facebook and all over the news sites. And all of the comments were, thank God, this place is finally closing. I remember going to this as a kid and crying because it was awful. All of these comments that were just, and there really were a majority of people who were saying, thank God, close the place, right? And the headline wasn't animal husbandry program started. It was zoo is closing, right? So I would have some sort of public survey if I were you, because I would want to see who actually needs this, right? This is something that maybe we don't actually want to have our taxpayer money funding. It's just kind of common sense, right? And I'm looking forward to the ballot box this year, because I think that this is something that you're going to see reflected there.
Well, every member, I can assure you, every member of this board wants to try to accommodate all the folks in the county and letting them have either
No, it sounds like that. It sounds like you're
position.
trying to appease everybody, and you're appeasing no one, because if this
That's
is
not the case.
if this is going to be a location where we can't feed the animals, the people who go to the zoo to begin with, that's what they want to do. They want to feed the animals. They don't want to see the animals. They want to feed them.
They're not going to be able to feed the animals, and I've said this before.
This is appeasing no one. I think you
You're
really want to.
so wrong, it's crazy. Number one, I took my children there. My children take my grandchildren there. And I hear that a lot. You may not hear it, but we hear it. And so does the park people who go there hear it. It's a lot of people who may live in this town who could never afford to go to Philadelphia Zoo or go to Turtleback Zoo.
People from New Brunswick go over there? People from New Brunswick go there?
Absolutely.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you. Is there a motion to close? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.